I preach that we need to be local, our community comes first, all those things. So this is one thing that you're probably the first person to hear is we've never turned down a charity.
No.
And we've helped probably like 30 charities in the past 2 years.
And that's awesome.
We've never turned down a charity, and the thing is, and so we don't do sometimes as much as they'd like, but my partner and I from the beginning, it's like we're here. Our business, yes, you have to make money, but we'd rather make an impact. And if you lead with wanting to make an impact, the money comes.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do something, if you preach about being local and spending local, like the business is here. And the small businesses all here on Williamson Road, the little taco shops or the ramen shop or, Jerusalem with their Mediterranean food and stuff like that. If you want people to pay homage to local, you can't just talk about it. You have to do it.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I got a question to ask about, this Salty's Lobster Company, which my grandma and my aunt had ate from there. I think they had the crab
Crab boils?
The claw sub.
Oh, you talking about the lobster roll?
Dude, my freaking aunt was just like, and this was like 30 minutes after she ate it. Her mouth was still running. She's like, I'm like, sir, how'd you like it? Because I'd been begging them to go check you out. You're a homeboy. I've known you since I was like freaking 8 or 10, somewhere around there. So, I'm telling her, I'm like, go try it out, and she's just like all on it and everything. And my grandma too, she was like, it's amazing, but how old people are.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit expensive. And I'm like, Mama, I'm like that's
it's lobster, straight claw,
and it's the new days. Like they don't have all you can eat lobster. Like back in the day, my papa, before he was murdered, like he would go and he would eat all you can eat lobsters and stuff. And I mean, just tear it up, dude. And I can't remember the price, so I'm not gonna say it. But I mean, it was a low price.
I seen it like I was 15 years ago. I was in Florida. There's a buffet and they had all you can eat lobster. And then I was in Vietnam like a couple years back, and it was super high level, and it was this buffet. It was the best buffet I ever had in the world. It's nice Hotel Nico. Dude, like they had lobsters and they're still moving this ice and they serve lobster 6 different types of ways, but this buffet had caviar, has everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most expensive buffet I ever had, but it's also, and it's coming out of Vietnam, which is a third world country, or I guess you'd call it second world.
Mm-hmm.
But the craziest part was it was the 15 years ago I had that one lobster and they baked them and then you just grab the whole lobster. But here in Vietnam, they had them with cheese or garlic or with noodles and everything. And they do the lobster right in front of you. It's all you can eat. It's fine dining. So like you have to suit up. There's just a certain je ne sais quoi about it. But with our lobster comes straight from Maine. People say it's pricey, but if you were to buy it yourself, you wouldn't even come close to getting that. So a lot of people don't realize it. A quarter pound of lobster is what we put on our rolls. Yeah. But that takes 7 lobsters.
They're meaty, dude. I've seen them.
It takes 7 lobsters to do our roll because it's claw and knuckle meat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think 1 lobster will be 2 claws.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna fill a roll. We have 7 lobsters. And the way the industry works up there is a little hard too. There's a lot to it. But the biggest thing is what I think has gained our success. I literally just got off a Zoom call with the Richmond Times. There's a magazine doing it. They're doing an article on me. I can't even say who they are right now.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be at the airports. Like it's a magazine that's in the airports.
Oh really?
Yeah. So you'll see that a lot of places, and for me, those things matter. A lot of people maybe it's just about the money, but for me, if you are in the talking, if you're in the media and everything, that other money comes. So I've never really focused on that. I focused on a good product. Our buns are like our competitors. Like I told you earlier, we share a kitchen with a $50 million franchise. That's a lobster company in Richmond. We both hit the market at the same time with the same idea. The difference is they had freaking, they have a whole board behind them how to make decisions. I was just like, hey, we need to get to Richmond. That's the centermost point of Virginia with the big cities. So we're in the
capital.
757, the capital, all of those, Midlothian. So we want to get it where there's a higher population. But like in the interview today with the Richmond Times, they were like, okay, what they want to know what's different. Everybody wants to know what we're different than the other big players. Well, the big players are all about the money. I've never been about the money when it comes to the business. I want dope ass food.
Oh, and they probably have like high-end investors as well. Like you did it yourself. You know
Oh, they have tons of investors.
Yeah.
The difference is when they deal with investors, they have investors down their throat. Like they're dealing with smaller buns. They're dealing with I won't say mediocre lobster. I don't think their lobster is mediocre, but their buns are definitely mediocre. They put a little butter on it and stuff, and they don't come with anything. We have our kettle chips. We make our chips. We put lemon on ours. We have they don't put lemon. They just give you a lobster roll, and then we put our lobster roll. But we douse it in a drawn butter, lemon butter, truffle butter. We have our own seasonings. Our proprietary blend that nobody will know, but it's pretty levels. There's levels to it, and I think what happened is when you give a lobster roll to the average Joe,